Hi, Fellowship family. It's really great to be able to talk to you guys today. I miss seeing all your faces. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joanna Candy. I am Pastor Mike's wife. I also work in the church office and do some stuff with people care and youth ministry as well. But I'm really grateful to be given the chance to just share with you for a few minutes. My kids and I usually every day go on a walk, or if it's a good day, a run, and our route is right past church. And so we often spend a few minutes praying for you all, knowing that this is a new season for all of us and that many of you are very affected by it. And I think it'll be a big celebration when we can all be together again. So I think we're really excited for that. I wanted to take a few minutes now to just process with you guys something that I feel like the Lord has been teaching me a lot the past few weeks and months. And to be honest, a lot of it is still really raw and unprocessed for me. And I wish that my thoughts came out more coherently. And I even decided earlier today that I wasn't going to talk about this. I was going to do something that was a lot more polished and put together. And then I felt like the Lord drew me back to this and said, don't try to be a polished version of yourself. Just be honest, be real. So here I am. Like many of you, perhaps, the crash and the halt of life hit me really hard. I can't pinpoint exactly what part of it was the hardest. I wish I knew. It could have been the loss of community, or maybe the fear of the unknown, trying to learn how to homeschool my kids while working from home, or just the stripping down of what matters most. But whatever it was, it was rough. It felt like a sandpaper to my normal rhythm of life. Like a microscope was right on me saying, you're not holding it together very well. And honestly, for as long as I can remember, I've always struggled with slowing down. Growing up, my parents would say it to me. They still do say it to me. My husband has said that to me, and I have dear friends that have prayed for years that the Lord would do whatever it took to be able to lessen my pace. And, with all of this that was happening, it did lessen. And I slowed, and then I crashed. And the years of not slowing down hit me really hard. And I was afraid, I was anxious, I was worried, I was exhausted and sick. And fear consumed me, fear for my family, fear for making ends meet, fear for essential workers that I know and love that were stretched thin and on the front lines, fear for those that were lonely and what it was like for them to process this by themselves. And honestly, the list just goes on. And one particularly difficult night, I mentioned all of this to Mike, and he looked at me and he simply said, "Joe, they sit at Jesus's feet. They do not sit at your feet." And I was really struck by what he said. That conversation happened about a week or two before Easter, and I couldn't shake the imagery of everyone, including myself, sitting at Jesus's feet together. It felt like a breath of fresh air to me, like a story that I had read 100 times but was hearing in a new way. And our family decided to watch the Sight and Sound movie Jesus right before Easter, the weekend before. And in it, there's a pretty powerful scene that's depicted of Mary and Martha that's out of Luke 10. And the idea is that Martha invites Jesus into her home, and she is so distracted by much serving. And in contrast, Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet, and she is listening to his teaching. And she has told that she's chosen the good portion. And I was struck by the simplicity of Mary joyfully resting in the presence of Jesus. But to be honest, I felt physical stress for Martha. I thought to myself, it's so unfair that she doesn't have a choice as to whether she sits with Jesus or not. I'm sure she'd love to sit with Jesus, but someone's got to cook, someone's got to prepare, someone's got to serve. And Mary's freedom to put aside the housework and learned from Jesus just seemed like a luxury for Martha. And probably all of that revealed something about my own heart. And I realized that I think for much of my life, I've lived as Martha without even realizing it. The pull to keep up, to be involved, to be included, to do the work, whatever the work is. And I have just missed simply sitting with Jesus. To be honest, living at the feet of Jesus feels a little confusing to me. Especially when there's always things that need to be done, and there's kids to be fed and a house to be cleaned and work to be finished. And there's many moments that I think, Lord, I want to sit at your feet. I want to learn from you, but I don't know how to stop. And so these past few weeks, I have prayed over and over, Lord, I want to sit at your feet. Teach me how. Strip away the things that don't matter, and even reveal in me the sin in my own heart to find validation in the things that I do rather than whose I am. I have to say it's painful, but it's so life-giving at the same time. And Jesus longs to be with his children. A few days ago, I was reading in Zephaniah 3 and verse 17. I love it, and I was reminded of it again. It says, the Lord will quiet you. Oh, I'm sorry. The Lord your God is with you. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. Another version says, with his love, he will calm all your fears. He will rejoice over you with singing. And that verse was such a gift to me. It was like another way to explain or describe the idea of sitting at Jesus's feet, being with him, being quieted by his love. Now, if you guys identify with this struggle at all, I want to encourage you to join me in praying, Jesus, teach me to rest. Teach me to sit at your feet. No agenda. Even today, as I prepared to film this video, I was deeply struggling with not keeping up with everything the way that I thought that I should. And I felt Jesus say, stay with me, sit with me. What you do does not define you. I'm grateful for his kindness, the Lord's kindness in teaching me these things, even in the midst of so much unknown in our world right now. Before I end, I wanted to read a few lyrics to a song entitled Sitting at the Feet of Jesus that I happened to come across a few days ago, and I just loved the words. It says, my heart has found a resting place, sitting at the feet of Jesus. Here all my doubts and fears depart, sitting at the feet of Jesus. Here I take counsel how to live, sitting at the feet of Jesus. I'm worn and weary. I find rest sitting at the feet of Jesus. Here I shall ever safely hide, sitting at the feet of Jesus. So I want to encourage you guys, even in this struggle, it's when our life has slowed down a lot, it's easy to continue to need to do. But even taking this time to sit with Jesus, he has such joy being with his children. Thank you guys for listening today. You are often prayed for by our staff. You are missed by us, and hopefully we can be together again soon.